Flow Softball. Happy to have you along, everyone. Corey Brooks alongside OU's Nicole Mendez. There are Oklahoma connections everywhere in this game. First and foremost, at the helm of this Mississippi State program, Samantha Ricketts in her 5th year at the helm. She was named an assistant in 2015, and when she graduated college, she was the all-time RBI and home run leader at Oklahoma University. The Patty Gasso tree is big. The Patty Gasso tree extends far. This is going to be so much fun. There is no shortage of storylines for this matchup, Nicole.
Man, no shortage of storylines indeed. I think the storyline this year for Mississippi State is not so much OU, but man, they have been waiting for this moment. They worked hard on the offseason, slided a little bit in postseason last year. This lineup is consistent all throughout. You won't see any crazy dips 1 through 9, and that is what they've worked on. Being consistent, being able to come out and compete, being able to come out and dominate. And this is the ultimate test, going against a 3-time back-to-back-to-back national championship team.
And OU will sound the May Day alarm. Nicole May in the circle here for Oklahoma. Her numbers are quite literally as good as they get. 13 1/3, an ERA of 0. She is 3-0, 17 strikeouts, 4 walks. The veteran on this Oklahoma staff going to work here for the Sooners.
From Nicole May, you're going to see a lot of curve rise action, some off speed, and whenever her off speed is on, it's really firing, and that's whenever you see Nicole May do some of her best work. But she's backed by a pretty stellar defense. I think they're going to be challenged tonight. Mississippi State, we got to see them in Puerto Vallarta last week, and they played a lot of small ball. They had a ton of speed, so they are going to be putting pressure on Oklahoma as this game is about to get underway.
This is one of the ones we have had circled since we started in Cathedral City. Oklahoma and Mississippi State. May's first pitch misses for ball 1. A look at one of the best leadoff hitters right now. Sierra Sacco has been on fire, getting on base about 60% of the time to begin the year. And now she's got a 2-0 count. Sierra's already had an incredible tournament. This is the debut here at Mary Nutter for OU. Mississippi State's already played a couple, including a game against UCF, who we already saw, a very, very good team. Sierra went 4 for 4 in that game, worked a walk against Notre Dame as well, both victories for the Bulldogs. Sierra consistently setting the table, and right now she's very much in the driver's seat.
That's something we saw from Mississippi State, just the patience at the plate, being able to make these pitchers work, and they have a game plan going in, and they did such a good job of not falling into the pitcher's trap, but sticking with their own game plan.
5-pitch walk. Sacco goes to first. And a player who's already 6 for 6 on the base paths coming into this tournament. Now looming as Nadia Barbary checks into the batter's box. Barbary watching strike 1. Nadia's been doing some traveling. An East Coast girl, grew up in Georgia, but furthest she's ever been from home was the last time we saw Mississippi State in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Now, a little further north, a little further west. That's the best part about softball. Small world, big world, all at the same time. Got her. Nearly an at-bat full of balls, straight into strikes.
Especially an 0-2 count, you have to be disciplined, yes. But whenever it's that close, you also know that you have to battle and foul some of those off.
One of the best power threats in the history of Bulldog softball. Trying to begin the day for State, Paige Cook. Very quickly, Kinsey Hansen will go out and talk to May.
Quick conversation from head coach Patty Gasso, just talking to her defense again. Mississippi State, they like to action call. They like to make these defenses work. You might see something here or there, but just a little heads up from Coach Gasso. Just a reminder to her defense, which we've seen this Oklahoma infield shift around a little bit, especially in that second base position. So whenever you have defenders rotating in and out, it makes it difficult to feel that consistency all the time. So whenever you have a situation that might cause a little bit of chaos, you want to make sure you're over communicating.
Especially with Sacco at first. She's been quiet so far. Actually, not of respect for Hansen. Lifted into center, continues to carry, and it's over the head of Coleman. That ball kept going and going. The opening lead belongs to the Bulldogs. Sacco across, thanks to Cook.
And that is exactly what we talked about. That pitch, an off-speed, not a bad pitch, but that was a hit and run. Mississippi State, it doesn't matter if it's a bunt. It doesn't matter if it's an action call. They like to be able to get the ball rolling, get some action going. That one was shot well over the head of Jada Coleman, which if you've seen Oklahoma, you know that's not an easy task. That was a great job by Cook, staying on that pitch, staying on that off-speed, extending through it, getting that hit.
How about the start to the year for Paige Cook? That's her 5th double. I think she might have made a mistake along the base paths, though.
Maybe thinking missing first base. Got first. Got second. Not too sure why they're calling the out. I can see the confusion kind of shared with Mississippi State right now. These umpires are just trying to figure it out, make the right call.
Ron, Megan, and Robbie will gather. And no change to the signals, so it looks like Cook will be out. Maybe stepped off the bag before it was a fully dead play.
I know.
We saw a lot of that. Shoot.
Runner left early. I'm pretty sure it was a runner leaving early on that steal. We mentioned it was a hit and run. So it was a straight steal. Runner left early. So they're bringing Cook back to the box. Going to re-hit, and it's a dead ball. Yep. And that is huge for Oklahoma to get that out. Because Mississippi State, they got all that momentum. They were up 1-0. And then to get that runner off the base and to get that hit back is huge.
And so all of a sudden, the first lead to all the momentum belongs to Oklahoma, a team that doesn't often need a whole lot of help in a game. That was a great eye by Patty Gasso. She's the one who pointed it out. And you don't win back-to-back-to-back by accident. Cook had to go up top to get that. It's by Hodge. So Cook finds a way on regardless, and the inning continues.
And Cook, I mean, it's not an accident. She got that great hit, and it wasn't by accident. She has great hands, but more importantly, whenever she swings, she has power. This one, she's not in her legs. She doesn't maybe necessarily make the best pitch choice, but the way she commits to her swing, the way she's able to generate force, generate bat whip, that's what causes that bobble over at second by Hodge.
And all of a sudden, May's got momentum. Jessie Blaine down 0-1. That is crushed into left. Hit it high, let it fly. It's a Blaine bomb.
And that helmet raised high in celebration. Blaine, a big smile on her face. As soon as that ball was hit, everybody in the crowd knew it was off. Something about nighttime makes that ball look like it just flies. But man, this one was crushed well over. I think this is actually in the pitcher's warm-up area out there in left field.
Yep.
A no-doubter for sure. And Mississippi State, one run taken away. They say, that's all right. We'll come back and we'll get two.
Absolutely. All right, bet from the Bulldogs. She crushed that thing to the ivy here at Wrigley Field. Third home run of the year for Blaine.
There's a little bit of tension whenever the batter's in the box, just calling time with her backhand to the home plate umpire. I don't think that signal was recognized by the umpire, so coach is a little fired up about it. And he'll get a warning.
Bulldogs obviously feeling a little slighted after the leave early call on Sacco, who's as professional a base runner as you'll find. And now Coach Ricketts will get involved in the conversation as well.
And Mississippi State and Oklahoma, they have seen each other every single year since 2021. They're familiar with one another. They're not afraid of one another.
No.
This is a matchup that has made both teams better. And I think if you're Mississippi State, how hard you worked in the offseason, if you want to make a splash, if you want to go up in those rankings, this is the game to do it. It's against Oklahoma. And if you're Oklahoma, you're used to this by now. You're used to every time you face a team, you're going to get their best. You're going to get the high energy. You're going to get these teams giving it their all. So you have to come at it again with your all every single time.
Beautiful pitch from May. There is certainly immense pressure on Oklahoma. And it's not because we're deciding anything here at the end of February, but the streak sits at 62 in a row for the Sooners. They have no interest in losing it anytime soon. Hawkins down on the dropper. Nicole May bounces back, but Jessie Blaine crushed one into the California night, straight from Cathedral City to the depths of Wrigley Field in Chicago. A moonshot here, and the Bulldogs lead it 2-0. What a start. Jada Coleman gets the big hop. Edwards can't quite play it. Jada Coleman has that effect. A leadoff base runner for OU.
And this is the second ball that we've seen that's been hit so hard. It just kind of ricochets off of the infielder. This one, it's not an overly difficult one, but whenever you add in an extra 10 miles an hour, it makes it harder. We saw it with Cook off the glove of Avery Hodge, and then just now Coleman hit it hard off the glove of Edwards, who has been so solid at shortstop for Mississippi State. She's made some incredible plays. That just tells you both of these teams, the kind of power that they have with their bats. Speaking of power, Tiare Jennings, I mean, one of the best hitters in the nation. Pretty much her whole career at Oklahoma.
Correct.
She has been excellent and so consistent. That's what makes her such a tough out. She is very consistent at the plate. Doesn't get out too often.
Her next RBI will tie her with Lauren Chamberlain for number 2 all-time in Oklahoma history. It is a testament to how good number 1 was. She's still 70 ahead. And of course, that's Jocelyn Alo. Great hitters count now for Tiare.
I had lunch with that number 1 hitter today, Jocelyn Alo, and we were just talking about this matchup specifically and how excited we were to see this game. We think it's going to be a great one. Both of these teams, obviously, different kinds of targets on their backs, but still, they are looking really, really good. So it's going to be a good game tonight.
Wesley's going to try and deny Tiare history, at least for a little bit. Oklahoma's got plenty of games with us here on Wrigley Field the next couple of days. Beautiful change from Wesley. Pop throw doesn't turn 2, but that's a nasty off speed for Aspen Wesley.
Talk about nasty. This one just floats in. Jennings, she stays on plane of the ball so well, and so for that ball to be able to drop just a little bit, that is such a good pitch by Wesley, and that tells you she's done her homework. She knows Jennings is a hitter that you have to start in that lineup. If you can get out, that means good business for you and your team.
Ball one into Kinsey Hansen, and thought about it, and only fleeting thoughts for Jada Coleman. Not worth the risk, especially with the powerful Hansen at the plate. The Johnny Bench Award winner. Goes after that one.
And for Wesley to be able to face this Oklahoma lineup, to be able for Mississippi State to be in this environment, this is a postseason environment. This is what they want to be in. This is great practice for later on in the season.
K9 fouls it off and sends it out of play. And we talked about it in our last game. For UCLA, they have had a World Series field to pretty much their entire schedule. And that certainly carries over to this one here at Wrigley. This could easily be a postseason matchup.
I mean, just the sheer amount of fans that are there.
That too. Hansen unloads. Kinsey Hansen, one of the best to ever do it at Oklahoma, adds another.
They call her K9 because she's a big dog, and that was a big hat. Kinsey Hansen sends it right in the same place that Blaine hit it just half an inning ago. And this score is all tied up 2-2 as Oklahoma responds.
What a
It's going to
luxury
be
to have a
a
defensive
back
catcher.
and forth game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back
No
and
doubt.
forth. Both of these teams, tons of power throughout their lineup. Not a lot of holes.
And Wesley hadn't even faced the top hitter. Burrito sends it to right. That was, to this point, the top numbers on OU, Burrito. But that just finds the glove of Cook. What a luxury to have a catcher as good defensively as Kinsey Hansen is, who can also rake on the other side. Here's Sid Sanders. Aspen floated that in.
And I love that response from Wesley after that bomb that Kinsey Hansen hit. Immediately comes back, gets a quick out from Melissa Burrito, who in her own right has been fantastic for Oklahoma. And she's going right after Sid Sanders here in the box. She is not afraid, and I think that's something that if your team's around the country watching Mississippi State, you're going to be impressed by them.
You have to. Absolutely have to be. Coach Ricketts has continually built this thing. And off their first super regional and highest rank, this team is poised on the launching pad for sure. It's going to be an unbelievably competitive league. Nearly all of it is in the top 25 right now. But State certainly understands that challenge. That changeup from Aspen Wesley has been straight cash in this first inning. She's got her second strikeout on it. But if you like offense, this may be the game for you. Our second home run of the contest. This time it's Kinsey Hansen adding to her top 10 resume in Norman. We are even at twos. Strong. Hole hits it well back up the middle. A leadoff base runner for the second straight inning.
Mississippi State knows if you can get the leadoff runner on, good things tend to happen. This one on that inside half, she's just able to fist that, get it through the infield, have a little bit more power. I think that's one thing that we've seen, not just from these two teams here tonight, but all across the country so far, the power that we've seen in a lot of these bats. Good stop by Hansen.
It's been impressive to watch. And if you want to come see it in person, the official ticket source is through the MaryNutterClassic.com website. Right now, you're watching with us here on Flow or on site in Cathedral City. You have been treated to a show. Maddie Kennedy chops it up, and it gets by Jennings. Don't see that a whole lot. Bulldogs in business.
This Mississippi State team came to play. This one, choppy on this field. We already know we've seen some high bounces, but Jennings, she waits back a little bit too long, tries to turn it into a backhand. Like to see her move through that one a little bit, but aggressive base running by Mississippi State. And they got a runner on the corners.
He's in Kylie Edwards. Had that tough play in her own right a little bit ago at short. This field is hopping, the energy resonating here in Cathedral City, and the ball jumping in response.
This one, that's a nice block by Kinsey Hansen. That gets by, and Mississippi State, they regain the lead just a little bit. You can see Rocha, she's really wanting to talk to her battery right now. just talk game plan. Looks like Mississippi State has been spot on so far. And sometimes whenever you're a pitching staff, you make an educated guess. It's the ability to pivot, change, and turn. And on the other hand, if you're Mississippi State, you know that Oklahoma, they're not going to have a plan A, but they're going to have a plan A through Z. You should have a plan A through Z to respond to those adjustments. So I think both of these teams, as this game goes on, you're going to see just an all-out battle. One team punches, another team punches. It's going to be back and forth.
It's been fascinating.
I love Kinsey Hansen just making Nicole May laugh right there, just easing the tension a little bit, because you can feel it. There's a lot of energy.
Coach Gasso said her favorite part of last weekend was the pitching and defense, and that has been challenged here by State. Kylie Edwards goes after the riser. Edwards chops it up. Hull comes home and makes the play. Brito with an outstanding grab over at third. And the defensive wizard, no matter the spot, saves a run.
In Oklahoma, they know Mississippi State, they're base running. They're going to be aggressive. This one, a ground ball to Brito. And you can see there's no hesitation because there's a lot of speed at third. No hesitation. Gets that out easily. Not even time to slide.
It's up to Briley St. Clair, who goes up top. The defensive versatility of Alyssa Brito, massive. Came to Norman saying, wherever you need me. So she winds up at the hot corner for the Sooners and just made a really nice play to take Hull off the table. Coach Ricketts has the lineup card out.
Mississippi State knows they have been able to produce time and time again.
Not there. Not against May. St. Clair down swinging.
Cole May going upstairs with this rise ball. Gotten a couple swings and misses.
Flips to Sacco. And Sierra watches strike one. It was the call on her leaving early that seemingly doomed Mississippi State until a two-run shot from Jessie Blaine put those runs back on the board. Now Sacco's in a run-producing position with two on.
Kinsey Hansen putting in work behind the plate over there. Saved a run, runner from advancing. Keeping that ball in front of her. You gotta respect that arm.
It's a nod of respect for the Johnny Bench Award winner that Sacco didn't just straight steal and prevent all that chaos from happening on the leave early. It was a hit and run that led to the miscommunication and ultimately the run taken off the board. Kinsey's got a cannon back there. That ball is flying on the screwball for May. This thing's in the dirt. Against a really, really disciplined hitter. That's all you need to know. This time, Sierra resists temptation, and Kinsey keeps everything status quo.
I think that's smart base running right there. As much speed as you have, an arm like Kinsey Hansen, the last thing you want to do as a runner is get thrown out at third. Being smart, trusting that your offense is going to come through in this situation.
Sacco fouls it off. We'll see another. The Legion of Boomer, very much in attendance here. The fans from Starkville making the trip as well. This is in the prime time slot for a reason. We got another good one coming up after this. Payoff pitch one more time. How about an 8-pitch battle?
If there's one thing Mississippi State has done well in these first 2 innings, it's see a lot of pitches.
Yeah.
They've been able to take Nicole May. If they're not hitting the first or second ball, they're going deep into the count. They're seeing a lot of pitches. They're communicating with each other in the dugout.
Zacco chops it up and forces Jennings to dive. Here's the wide turn from Sells. The Bulldogs reclaim the lead.
And the payoff of not going on those pitches that were in the dirt, being a smart runner at second, that is what you were waiting for. This one, deep in that 5-6 hole, you can see Jennings trying to get to it, not able to. And the speed, and that's where bringing in the pinch runner, that pays off. And the Bulldogs, they're fired up in that dugout.
Sierra's been so good here at Mary Nutter. We mentioned the 4-for-4 game against UCF, one of the best games of her career. Now she'll tack an RBI onto it as well and spark the 2-out rally in full. Nadia Barbary, even at ones.
You've seen Jennings, 2 of those balls, one squarely hit very hard, but 2 of those balls, she's gotten eat up on that backhand side. If you're Mississippi State, pay attention. Try to keep going there in that 5-6.
It's a dangerous ask because you're talking about 2 of the best defenders on the left side of the infield in Brito and Jennings anywhere in the sport. But you're right. That has been the plan of attack, and it's worked really well. Kind of goes against your normal thinking, but hey, whatever it takes. Right up a shoot, now to play. Chopped up again. This time, it's no issue for Jennings. She is the straw that stirs the drink there at short. She'll be all right. Right now, it's Sierra Sacco putting the Bulldogs back up by 1.
No matter what your business is, don't let it stay behind. Go to Fiverr. Find AI experts who can build a chatbot for your website and take your website to the next level. Fiverr. Find AI experts.
At Honda,
It's right there.
Tell you what, you got to win the crane game a bunch to pull that off. You got to time up the lights.
Is that ball
Every game at
autographed?
Boomers.
I don't know. I was a skee ball gal myself. I don't know. That's where I got all my.
That's another one. Hey, skee ball is the secret to getting a bunch of tickets. That is 4-3 and well played for the freshman Ella Parker. She might be able to get a softball to take home. She'll make lasting memories here.
This one, a first of many. This ball up in the zone. Parker, she's able to pull this. Doesn't get all of it. Doesn't get all the power a little early. But the way she's able to stay through that ball and get extension, the freshman gets a single. And you'll see another freshman right here, Cassidy Pickering. And I give you pause a little bit. You see Ella Parker, you see Cassidy Pickering, you see Avery Hodge back to back to back. This time last year, they weren't in the lineup. And now all of a sudden, they're all right next to each other. This is a new look for Oklahoma. But Patty Gasso, that shows that she has confidence in them and their ability to turn it over.
The first 2 you mentioned were still in high school. Pickering unloads to right, where it sits for Cook. Cassidy Pickering has gotten off to an unbelievable start on this year, but so has Aspen Wesley, so she dodges the second of the 2 freshmen. And now here comes the sensational sophomore Hodge. Good strike to Avery Hodge. To your point, mostly a pinch runner last year. Avery's been getting in the lineup, got a walk against Central Arkansas. Right now, sole objective is move Ella Parker from first. High chop. Only play is at first, and there's nothing there either. Avery Hodge, a base knock.
The perks of using this hard ground. We've seen it happen once unintentionally. This time, Avery Hodge does such a good job. By the time that ball is caught, there's no play at second, there's no play at first, and she's fired up. That slap just bounced right in front of the plate and then just sails over the head of the pitcher. And with her speed, she got to first safely. And you have Riley Boone. We talked about both of these lineups. Really great 9 holes. The ability to turn the lineup over, not be, oh, okay, it's just a 9 hole, but this is a batter that we have to watch out for on both sides. Riley Boone, definitely one of them, where she's a triple threat. Hit, butt, swing.
Boone rips it into right. She has been so good lately. 6 RBI last weekend. She's got another as Parker comes across. Stride for stride all night. We're tied again.
And this feels like a heavyweight matchup. This one elevated in on the hands of Boone. That is her wheelhouse. She turns on this one. Whenever you can get a ball down the right field line, it is good news for your base runners. And right now you have speed on second and third and Jada Coleman up.
Jada Coleman watching ball one. Lineup flips. Coleman had a single first time around. Wesley going to option A. Take a little off.
That is dirty right there. And Wesley, her ability to get pitchers' pitches early on in the count, get those swings and misses, that is why she is so effective, even against hitters like Oklahoma.
Jada Coleman in range. Sacco lays out and makes the play. What a huge addition out of the portal for Sierra Sacco and Mississippi State. But Oklahoma just continuing to produce an unconventional sac fly, but it does the job.
Yeah, you love that effort right there, the full out dive. You could see she was full extension, but Avery Hodge tagging up right away. A lot of speed there at third. In Oklahoma, they take the lead 4-3.
Coleman finding a way to still be productive. Here's Tiara Jennings.
That was a great pitch by Wesley. That wasn't Jada Coleman squaring one up. That was Jada Coleman out in front, popping something up.
Unreal read and react for Sierra Sacco. Going to step out. Be sure to tell your friends and family they can watch all the action live from Mary Nutter on FloSoftball.com. Flow Softball will be live streaming all the games. We'll also have all the archives available to watch on demand. Check out FloSoftball.com. That's FLOSoftball.com. Right up, shoot, and out of play in foul territory. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on Flow. Nasty from Wesley. She closes the frame, but it's a blue collar inning for Oklahoma. 2 runs on 3.
When you have a history of greatness, you keep dreaming and go beyond what's possible. The new 2024 Ridgeline Passport and Pilot, part of our most rugged trail sport lineup yet. From Honda.
Here tonight watching this game.
Oh, yeah.
You're not lying. That wasn't just something you were saying. I can think of so many amazing players throughout the years whenever we would go to Mary Nutter and they had my team that I followed, and for them to be able to step onto the field and compete.
Jada had about enough of that.
Yeah, definitely starting a little bit deeper. You have to respect the bat of Cook. There's so much power in her swing. She showed it not once, but twice. Her first at bat, and again here, her second.
To your point, Coach Gasso talked about this. She said the reason they keep coming to this tournament is because it's every California player's dream. They came here as kids. They interacted with the best at the time. Now they get the chance to play, probably in front of a ton of friends and family, and pass that next generation on in a full circle moment. There's so many reasons why this is a great tournament. That might be number 1 right there.
I think the visibility that this tournament brings for the sport, for future players, absolutely. The ability to get postseason competition, and as a fan be able to watch not just one game, but multiple games. If maybe you can't go to the World Series, the World Series comes to you if you're at Mary Nutter.
It does.
And then third, and I don't know, this might be number 1. I've mentioned it every game, so I feel like I have to keep going. But the kettle corn, that one for me is a pretty big one.
May, a pretty big pitch there.
That's a great response from May. Blaine, last time she came up to bat, she had a massive 2-run homer. And May, that off speed, the way it just slightly dips off at the end, gets the miss.
First pitch to Hawkins for a foul ball. Our broadcast partner, Sid Supley, made a great point to me, Nicole. She said, if you don't have an endorsement deal from Kettle Corn by the end of this tournament, something is seriously wrong.
Slide into my DMs. I'm right here. Ready.
Messages are open, y'all. It's popping.
I have no shame when it comes to kettle corn.
Hey, listen, there's no reason to. Ain't no shame in the game. Hawkins right now just trying to extend this inning here for Mississippi State. Nicole May has settled in. And just like that, Salin will do exactly that. 2-out base knock here for Salin Hawkins.
This one, it's a changeup on that inner half, but it's just high enough that Hawkins, she's able to get on top of it, get into that 5-6 hole. I think May might have want that one a little bit lower next time.
Riley Hull nearly came around to score first time up. Great play by Brito. Brought that run to its end, just a few feet short of a run.
One thing I love about both of these pitching staffs is their ability to think on the fly, make adjustments.
Yeah.
It's not the coach calls the pitch and then that's it. It is a conversation. And just a moment ago in the dugout, we saw Blaine talking to her coach, and she had her gear on, and I'm sure some of it was hitting, but I'm sure some of it is we know who's coming up in the lineup, and it's all about that adjustment. As Nicole makes another swing and miss, that rise ball has been really effective for her on those whisks tonight. This one just keeps climbing out of the zone.
Across the diamond, Brito up to the task again. So Hawkins gets a hit, but that's all. Oklahoma keeps Mississippi State quiet for the first time.
No matter what your business is, don't let it stay behind. Go to Fiverr. Find AI experts who can build a chatbot for your website and take your website to the next level. Fiverr. Find AI experts.
Sets up Alyssa Brito. Oklahoma looking for their third straight scoring inning. Oh, that one got Brito super crossed.
You can see, or not even see, you can hear Coach really fired up talking to Blaine saying, check that play. She swung. Yes, she did. And she did. They get the strike call.
You were just talking about that conversation between pitcher and coach, and we're pretty blessed to have, I think, two of the best pitching coaches anywhere in America. Obviously, Coach Jen Rocha has more rings than one hand can hold, but on the other end of it, Tara Moet McKinley, the new first-year head coach for Mississippi State, has been outstanding, and her impact has really been felt. All you have to do is look at Wesley's numbers, and they pretty much speak for themselves. But what Josie Marin's been able to do under this new staff, what Delaney Everett has done in limited innings, it's been really, really impressive what the Bulldogs have done in the circle so far.
That off-speed fooling Brito was so nice. Wesley having the ability to control it, keep it straight, or even drop it off the table.
Skips in the dirt. You talked to Coach Ricketts about Coach T, the pitching coach, and she said the biggest thing she does is has an individualized plan for each pitcher. That's so important when you're building a complementary staff. It's not one size fits all anymore. You have to be able to have that individualized approach. Payoff pitch on that. Brito was having a tough at bat, and she turns it into a whole lot of success anyway. One out double for AB 33.
Whenever I think of a hot bat, I think of Alyssa Brito. This one out in front, but look at the way she extends through, not just with the front hand, but with the backhand all the way, keeping this one fair right down the line. St. Clair struggling with that one a little bit. And Brito able to get to second and get her team fired up.
It's a Bulldogs team that has some of the best pitching numbers in the country. Top 5 in ERA, top 2 in WHIP. And it's an OU lineup that can mess those numbers up pretty quick. Sid Sanders watches strike one.
I feel like we talked about the perks of being able to hit the ball hard. Whenever you hit the ball hard, whenever you swing hard, your chance of success goes up just because as a defender, it's a little bit harder to play. It makes it harder to get there in time.
Getting sped up in every sense. A good thing when you do it to your opponents. Wesley, though, has had bounce-back stuff throughout the course of this game, and right now she's got that 2-strike count to sit. If the cards go flying, that's how you know there's velocity in every direction. Aspen Wesley picks up the K.
I mean, talk about a dirty pitch. You swing so hard, the cards are just fluttering in the wind. This one, hard in on the hands of Sanders.
Diving stop, not going to be enough. Brito comes home. The Sooners double their lead thanks to the freshman, Ella Parker.
That's going to be a name that you're going to be hearing a lot of, not just for Oklahoma, but around the country. in freshman of the year conversation. She has a bat that is just unreal. Wesley leaves that one just a little bit over the plate. That's able to score Brito easily.
Right back at it. The turn and fire off the bag. It's 2 outs, so the out at second would have been fine, but Edwards didn't catch the keystone. So Cassidy Pickering reaches, and both freshmen stand on base for Oklahoma.
This one, I almost thought that there was going to be a step on second from Edwards. When she goes to first, and that throw just a little bit off. Brings Hull off the bag. And I think this is a good moment for Coach to call time to reset her team. She's not stressed. I mean, a 5-3 lead for Mississippi State, that's doable. That's an easy 2-run. I mean, they showed what they can do back in the first inning. But as a defense, to reset, things can kind of get a little chaotic. And if you don't take the time to pause as defense, snowballs start to form. And from there, things go quickly. So the ability to call time, reset, find the pitcher that you want, find the pitch that you want, have that conversation, and then get back going. You have 2 outs here.
Talked about it. Velocity leads to success. Speed up your opponent. That's what happened to the Bulldogs right there, but they've dealt with it before. It happened to them opening weekend, especially when they had 4 freshmen out there. But they overcame it. No problem for the Bulldogs then. A lone loss on the ledger to UC Davis in their finale in Puerto Vallarta. But this, the toughest test yet for these surging State Bulldogs. Avery Hodge trying to keep the 2-out rally going. She activates the feet and nothing more. This bottom part of the order already has 5 hits on the day. Just a bit low. You know Coach Ricketts wants Aspen to get this out here, close the frame. Then maybe you consider your pen as the next OU group would mark the 3rd time through, but Wesley's been so good on the course of the year. Maybe you do leave her in. Time in that dugout.
Pitch on that inside half, but I think you give Wesley a couple more batters, especially with that top half of the lineup. She has had success maybe by the time it comes around to Brito.
Well, Wesley do it herself. A great grab. She sends it over to Hull to clean it up. Still, Oklahoma producing, thanks to the newcomer, Ella Parker. Norman, you hear it a lot. Maddie Kennedy right up a chute. I'm sure even you, over the course of analyzing these games with us here, have fallen into a few Gassoisms. It's just so embedded in our sport.
Say, I drop a few more Gassoisms than people realize, I think, but it becomes so embedded into who you are, that standard, that mindset, that way you think.
Kennedy gives it a ride to right, and Wrigley is just big enough. Pickering at the fence for the first out.
That one knocked far. Elevated, not quite that sharp jump, and Kennedy's able to take that one for a ride, but it was a good read by Pickering.
Kylie Edwards. Watching ball one. It's funny, to your point of knowing the Gassoisms, she dropped a quote that I think you and both Coach Ricketts really understand more than the rest of us. That one's chopped up, goes straight to May. She wasn't so happy after that last weekend, and she said, our team got the old me at practice. It came out a little bit.
Oh, man. I remember being a freshman at Oklahoma and Lauren Chamberlain, Shelby Penley saying, man, you guys have it easy. What do you mean? This lady's tough. And I go back and I watch their games and I'm like, man, you guys have it easy. And then I'm like, oh, I am now. I'm now one of those.
Riley St. Clair hit it perfect. Carries it over the head of Boone. And just like that, a 2-out double for Riley St. Clair.
A real triple threat. These 9 holes, they've been making an impact today. This one elevated deep. You could see how shallow both Riley Boone and Jada Coleman were. And that just allows her to easily get into second. She's just cruising in there. But St. Clair, she's really made an impact for her team quickly.
Her first double of the year. And Mississippi State's pageant queen. Works her way over to second base. And now looks to make a dramatic exit on a score. And Sierra Sacco bringing another.
Freezing Sacco on that off speed. We've seen her do good things with that pitch. I mentioned at the beginning of the game, whenever that pitch is on for Nicole May, you tend to see her do some really good things on the mound.
Sacco fouls it back. Reminder, you can keep up with USA Softball all year long at www.usasoftball.com. Local events, USA Softball National Championships, and the latest on certified equipment just a click away. If you're a top 12U player, sign up. Try out for the USA All-American Games. Plenty of All-Americans right here. Mays 1-2 outside. Off speed on it was Sierra Sacco, but pulled it a little early swing.
Love that adjustment from Sacco. That last time she saw that pitch, kind of froze. You saw her knees buckle, but on this one, she's ready for it. Turns on it just a little bit too much. That ball was hit hard.
This is the third time around. Can State start to see May a bit? That one was easy. Riley St. Clair can fly from second. Sacco's going to have another battle. She had an 8-pitch single in the second. Here's the 8th pitch of this at-bat. Sierra not making any friends, except for those in her own dugout. May comes home, goes with the off speed. Did she go? No. Powerful wrists for Sierra Sacco, and the Bulldogs are still alive in the fourth.
That was a close pitch there for Sacco. Way to hold off on that one. Definitely borderline, but just above that strike zone. I think she held.
I do too. Give Nadia Barbary a chance. She has hit in both of her games here at Mary Nutter, both against UCF and Notre Dame. She picked up 2 against the Knights. A good team, as we saw yesterday here on Wrigley Field, and a quality win for the Bulldogs. Both of them have been. Barbary watching 0-2. Dogs 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Oklahoma on the other end of it, 3 for 6. That about sums up our difference right now. Not much else separating these two. May will need at least one more.
I love this microphone that Kenzie Hansen, she is loud, she is vocal. I love that in a catcher. She demands respect, leads by example, but I love what you get to hear her saying. You love to hear that conversation between her and her pitcher.
Scraped that one off the dirt. Gave it a good ride considering, but it sits in the waiting glove of Riley Boone. A hit and a walk, but OU keeps him off the board. It's Oklahoma's bats next.
I think I'm seeing the future.
I think I'm seeing the future.
Boone always creates a tough play, but Hawkins we mentioned, of course, pretty deeply personal one for OU right now. Look at Fapito. Put a 1 in the score sheet. going. Holman scores from first, and the Sooners make it a fourth straight scoring inning. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Oklahoma rattles off a rally, 2 runs on 2 hits in the 4th inning. Nicole May opens things up here in the 5th, issues a walk to Paige Cook, and Oklahoma will turn to S.J. Guerin, a redshirt from a year ago, but made her debut against McNeese, 2/3 of an innings pitched. She goes shutout, then 2 2/3 shutout against Central Arkansas. So her career ERA is 0. She is 1-0. She's thrown 3 1/3. SJ takes over in the circle. A fan favorite and a Coach Gasso pitcher of choice right now here in a big game.
SJ is a pitcher who has a lot of spin and is masterful at getting a ton of rotations on her curveball, on her off speed. And then every once in a while, she'll take some of the spin away and give a little bit of speed on the inside. But she's very much a situational type pitcher. Oklahoma plans to use her wisely, and she has been effective every single time that she's been put in games.
But Gasso did say she's the most improved pitcher on the staff coming into this year. And she was really effective in the fall when playing against her teammates. And if you're doing good things against Oklahoma's hitters, you're probably going to be good in live reps as well. Jessie Blaine, the hitter for State, 1 for 2 today, including the 2-run home run. It's the biggest swing for the Bulldogs. Blaine hits that one well, but it is just foul.
And the thought of bringing in SJ as Blaine comes back up to the plate. Somebody got the strikeout back in the third, but in the back of your mind, you're remembering that 2-run moonshot that she had in the first inning. This is the third time through. Might be time for a pitching change, maybe something to slow down Blaine through off balance.
The biggest element of this, and Coach Gasso actually talked about it in her weekly press conference, was she wants to go 6 deep on this pitching staff. Make it so unbelievably difficult for teams to scout Oklahoma. And SJ provides that final piece. So in addition to the tactical element of it, I think Coach Gasso just really wanted to give SJ a chance. There's a huge smile on her face when she was talking about her redshirt freshman pitcher. To be clear, this is not a walk-on who gritted her way onto the team. SJ was a top 20 player in the class of 2022. So she's earned every bit of this, but she does also have a tremendous pedigree.
I think doing what she has been is whenever she gets into the game, making the most of the opportunities, and you do that, you're going to get more and more and more. And then also, it's great because you see SJ and you see a pitcher who isn't going to blow it by you, but she's going to have that spin. She's going to have that craft. She's not trying to be those other pitchers. She's being the pitcher that she knows how to be.
Jennings, the short throw, the long Hodge. Good speed by Jessie Blaine prevents the twin bill.
This one, SJ, she went away, and then that last pitch to Blaine, not going to overpower her, but that's in on the hands. It speeds her up just enough to get that ground ball. Almost that double play from Oklahoma.
So Ceylon Hawkins with 1 on, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. And she watches ball 1. Hawkins off a career day against the Fighting Irish. 2 for 3, 2 RBI, and a run scored against Notre Dame. She's 1 for 2 in this contest, looking to keep the momentum going here at Mary Nutter. To Pickering, the pop, for out number 2.
SJ's that type of pitcher. As a hitter, you get a little frustrated because you're just waiting. You're a little bit out in front. And then she just blows something by you on the inside half. adds a little bit more zip.
Certainly a monster pivot after seeing May. That poses a real challenge, but that's exactly how this staff is built. It's a changeup, not the pitch, but the person in the circle. Little velo there, bottom part catches. Riley Hall will wait her turn. One of the most patient hitters in the SEC, a top 5 walk rate in the Southeastern Conference a year ago. State leader in that regard. She sits and waits, but it's 2 strikes.
Talk about floating in this one. Top of the strike zone with this off speed.
Hall goes after that one. Hodge goes back and makes the play. Mississippi State had a few runs early, but this Oklahoma pitching and defense settling in. So there's a bit of red in there. It's Oklahoma.
Whenever you look at that score line for Oklahoma, scored 2 in the first, scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. They have been so consistent about getting runs across the board. That is something, whenever you think about it big picture, it's like, yes, of course. But what Oklahoma does so well is they don't think about things big picture. They see things as they are, one pitch at a time, one inning at a time. And for them, it's all about winning each inning.
5-6 hole. Cassidy Pickering has her second hit. That is 4 total base knocks for the 2 freshmen hitting 6-7 for Oklahoma.
Pickering taking this one where it's pitched, gets it deep into that 5-6. Put a downward angle on that barrel, but that's exactly what she needed. And big smiles from the freshman.
7-3 lead, runner at first here for the Sooners is Cassidy Pickering. Avery Hodge will come up, 1 for 2 on the day. A single and a ball hit straight to Aspen Wesley, who helped pitch in for the out. That one right up.
Yeah, pinch hit here. Lena Torres coming in for Avery Hodge. We've seen them kind of interchange for Oklahoma, battling it out for that second base position. But Torres definitely having a little bit more power. I think that's what Gasso wants in this situation.
Did pick up an RBI versus Lamar last week. All part of that second base rotation for Oklahoma. That is the battle of choice. A lot of these spots pretty solidified by longtime players, most of whom are in the top 3 at their position. But second base, that's a war right now for these Sooners. And while Everett missing up top, Delaney Everett hasn't worked very much this year. Threw a couple innings against UAB, and that was about it. But she had a really good first fall, ERA under 1. Gave up 1 hit in her 13 innings pitched. We talked earlier about how Coach T has made an immediate impact on this freshman. She gets a chance right now.
And to come in as a reliever, that's a whole different mindset as a pitcher. There's high intensity, high stakes, warm up. But to start an inning, to be back in that game, that's another different kind of mindset. And that rise ball is just so pretty. Getting that strikeout against Torres, being able to get ahead early in counts.
Upper limit right now, 2 innings pitched. That was her high against UAB. This far and away her toughest task yet. This is a welcome to college softball moment for the very talented Delaney Everett.
We've talked about this all preseason, getting these challenges, getting these freshmen who are new to the college game, these reps, invaluable. Big hack from Riley Boone.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and a 4-run ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Delaney Everett got the strikeout of Torres. Fighting it off right now against the freshman.
And I'm loving this look on Everett's face. She is completely locked in. She's in battle mode right now. She didn't come to play or mess around. She's here to compete.
Up top, the California native.
Saw that adjustment that Riley Boone made, bringing that visor, that build down on her helmet, getting a little bit low in her stance. She's fouled off a couple of those rise balls, trying to battle, but wanting to lay off those higher pitches.
Boone pops it up. And play. Nearly had the room. Everett, the California native, but grew up about 7 hours away. It's a big state. Still, fully understands what this tournament means. Boone puts the 8th pitch in play to center. Sacco retreats and makes the play. Lineup flips for Jada Coleman.
Nice job by Everett, being able to continue to build up that ladder, working a little bit higher, a little bit higher. You can see the communication right there between Riley Boone and Jada Coleman. Probably going to get pitched similarly. Both have had success tonight.
Coleman with some count leverage. Jada's been a tough out. 3 productive plate appearances. Single and run, walk and run. And even when she was an out, it brought in a run. Pop throw down to second. Ball dropped at the last second by Edwards. That was a snipe from Blaine. But Pickering, a stolen base, her 3rd.
And I think that was a hit and run. You could see Jada Coleman asking Coach, let me get that sign again, and then running out of time. That batter, you only have 10 seconds to get in the box and be ready. On that one, didn't swing, and Pickering left to dry just a little bit. Got lucky on that one.
She's got good wheels, so that's the back end of that decision. She got a good jump. It was a great throw, but the physicality at the point. Saw the bob bobbled just a little bit. That was enough. Still, Everett's got a couple down. High chop right there for Jada Coleman. All smiles right there. So, I probably shouldn't have swung at that one, but hey, still hitting.
Hey, been there, done that. Sometimes, especially whenever you're facing a pitcher like Everett, that baseball just looks so good.
Yep. For my money, it's the nastiest pitch in the sport. It's the one that makes softball unique. You can't throw a rise ball in baseball, but in softball you can. And when it's right, it is disgusting. And Everett's got it right now. Just a piece. Tough play. Edwards has no play. Oklahoma's speed, the difference maker. And it's Sooners at the corners.
Ones with Avery Hodge and Jada Coleman. This one, it bounces close to the plate, and that is where this field is most bouncy. On that chop, it just has such a high bounce. Cassidy Pickering able to get to third, and by the time that ball is caught by Edwards, there is no play at first. Jada Coleman too fast. Talk about a battle. Fouling those off, getting that lower pitch, making the most of use of her wheels.
That one squirts away. Round comes Pickering. OU adds another.
Everett, as soon as this ball was out of her hand, she pretty much knew that was a ball that was supposed to be low and out on the zone. Just got away from her arm, got away from her body. And Oklahoma taking advantage of the error at second, that tag out, being able to be safe, being able to advance on that just choppy ground ball, and then taking advantage of the pass ball.
So Tiara Jennings still with a runner in scoring position. Oklahoma 5 for 10. Hard hit that's off the foot of Everett. She's fortunately all right. Round comes Coleman. It's a 9 spot on the board for Oklahoma, their second run. Now all the attention will be on the freshman. That was a laser right at her.
Absolutely shot back. Gets that landing foot, that front plant foot, just right on the toe. Coleman, she's able to round and come home easily. That one ricocheted off of Everett's foot all the way out into right field to Cook.
Yeah.
That was a hard hit ball. And especially for a pitcher on that plant leg, you can see her face.
Yeah.
You know that one hurts.
And she got right up, so you were hoping it was nothing too major. Maybe this is just an abundance of caution. But Everett will head out. That was definitely a shot right at her foot. Like you said, it's that plant as well. So Everett will... Brings the sophomore Josie Marin in. She has been outstanding. May very well have pitched in this game anyway, as State was certainly going to go pitcher by committee here against Oklahoma. But the circumstances not the best. A hard hit ball from Tiare Jennings goes right off the foot of Delaney Everett, who is pretty clearly uncomfortable. There's another look.
That one hit her plant foot, but I also think after it ricocheted off of her foot, she went to step down and it looked like she kind of twisted that ankle a little bit. Like you said, just a little bit of caution. She was able to walk off the field, but watch this replant right here, right there. And then you see the ankle just kind of snap as she falls down. But it was good seeing her walk up the field.
For sure.
Probably going to get some ice on it right away. You can tell it's still painful.
Certainly wishing her the best. I'll ice up that ankle good. It does bring in Marin. What a luxury for the Bulldogs to have an experienced sophomore. 18 2/3 innings pitch, a 2.25 ERA, a record of 3-0. 18 strikeouts to just 1 walk. She's already got a no-hitter this year. Came against IUPUI. Been absolutely outstanding. And right now, she will just try and stem the tide, especially because Kinsey Hansen at the plate represents the game-winning run for the Sooners.
We all know what she's capable of. Back in the first, that 2-run homer to tie it back up against a monster first inning by Mississippi State.
Flared up and straight into the waiting glove of Hawkins. So Marin comes in and does the job. Mississippi State going to try and shore this deficit up on the other side. First full inning of work here for SJ. Came in after the walk. Did record all 3 outs. Chopped up foul. Been a fun couple hours here. Started out truly back and forth. 2 runs each in the first inning for both Mississippi State and Oklahoma. State comes out with another one in the second. OU doubles that with 2. Then 1-2-2 for Oklahoma. They have not stopped scoring. 0 empty frames, and S.J. Guerin adds another strikeout.
Big strikeout from S.J. Guerin. This ball tailing on the outer half of the plate. See Kennedy just reaching for that one. And that's what the spin of S.J. Guerin does. It's tricky, it's finicky, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And if you've ever played softball or baseball or even wiffle ball, you know what I'm talking about whenever you're waiting for that ball to come and you start to feel like that front foot just keeps tapping, trying to get that rhythm down, get that timing down. Really spinny pitchers, that's kind of the impact that they have on hitters.
We were talking yesterday about a coach calling one of her pitchers our annoyer and meaning that in the best possible way. That's what SJ does as well.
I want a lot of movement You feel Edwards just leaning over that plate a bit and trying to anticipate that really spinny pitch on the outer half. Then SJ comes in with that curveball.
Edwards watching outside. Kylie Edwards, unbelievably powerful freshman, already in the top 10 in slugging percentage in the SEC. She's only had 11 college games. Home run on the very first pitch that she saw as a member of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Right now, she's got a 3-2 count. I loved her answer. She was asked, why did you want to go to state? She said, Southern hospitality is real. Loved how nice everybody was. And so it winds up in Starkville, Mississippi. Right now, she will hospitably be shown first base. A one-out walk for Kylie Edwards.
For Mississippi State, the key to getting back into this game, to getting some runs across the board, talking to each other in the dugout, talking to each other. What do you see? What is going on in those at-bats? What pitch do you think we should hunt? The more communication that they have at-bat to at-bat, the bigger the chance of success. You saw it early on in the game, but especially whenever you have a new pitcher in, you want to relay that information as quickly as possible.
This is a hallmark that Mississippi State has really grown this year. To be able to bring Aquana Brownlee off the bench as a pinch hitter when she's hitting about 400, on basing about 500, and has 9 RBI already, this team has options. And right now, she's got a 2-0 count.
About another player that's been making the most of their opportunities. Brownlee, it's not easy to live the life of a pinch hitter. You don't know when your name's going to be called, but whenever it is, it's probably a big situation. And you're probably not going to have a ton of heads up. So knowing your role is to be locked into the game at all times, to be asking those who are already in the game, what do you see? What are you noticing?
Anna starts plenty as well. Short throw there. Jennings to Hodge for the out. Only play to be had. So Brownlee's still productive, but Edwards down.
Brownlee just getting on top of this, just a little bit. Easy play to Jennings to get that lead out at second. And I think we'll see St. Clair enter back in.
Aquana's job was at the plate. Her team will pick her up. It is indeed Briley St. Clair re-entering and running at first base. Patty Gasso come out and talk to her entire infield, as well as S.J. Garrett. Understanding there's a difficult out at the plate, Sierra Sacco is a chaos creator. She has been on base all 3 times today.
I think that'll do it for S.J. What a great outing by her. Definitely throwing these Mississippi State hitters off balance. And whenever you see Oklahoma pitch by committee, that's when you know they got a staff. See who's coming in next.
She's got 1 2/3 done. Big arm coming out of the pen. maybe the best pitcher in the Big 12 in 2 different uniforms, will come in and try and pick up the final few outs in this one. Kelly Maxwell, the story of the offseason, checks in for the first time here at Mary Nutter wearing an Oklahoma jersey.
Still
They came from Oklahoma
takes
State.
me a minute. Still takes me a minute to get used to seeing Kelly in the Oklahoma jersey. I'm so used to seeing her in the Oklahoma State orange, playing against her. But I've heard that it's been a very, very welcoming, seamless transition. And got the chance to talk to Jen Rocha and just hear her talk about how it's gone between her and Kelly being a grad transfer, being able to bring in all her knowledge, and obviously a great pitcher in her own right, but just learning and molding into 2 really great softball minds coming together. She said it's been a lot of fun.
No doubt about that. A lot of talent in that room. Numbers for Kelly thus far on the year: 3-0. She's thrown 14 innings pitched. ERA of 0.5. McNeese got her for 1 run. That's the extent of it. 13 Ks, 2 walks. Sierra's perfect on the day. Different look in the circle right now. Maxwell. Pitch just misses. It's pretty remarkable. These are 2 players who nearly wound up in very different spots. Sierra Sacco was going to go junior college until La Tech's coach happened to see her and was like, whoa, that's a good player, and brings her up, and then she lights up Conference USA. And meanwhile, on the other end of it, after Kelly Maxwell's first year with Oklahoma State, Kenny Gajewski really had to challenge her, saying, hey, you're having a tough time and can't really get a whole lot of outs. But she responded to that challenge and has become one of the best anywhere in America.
Yeah, really known for that backdoor curve. Just saw on that last one, kind of handcuffed Sacco on that pitch.
About 3 straight 8+ pitch plate appearances for Sierra Sacco. Did in the 2nd, did in the 4th, doing it right now in the 6th.
Slight work from her.
Yeah, that's what you want out of your leadoff. She really is the prototype. Gets on base at an absurd clip, forces pitchers to work, and when she does get on base, she'll turn 1 base into 2 pretty regularly.
And gets on base, being able to be moved over, but you have Cook not too far behind her, and she has been going off this year, so that's a great combination.
Top shelf cash. Kelly Maxwell comes in, gets the final out. Oklahoma wants it.
Good morning, baby, it's a brand new day.
Go from Greek classics one day to Italian masterpieces the next. With Norwegian, every day is a new day.
The rest of my life gonna start today.
Marin. Received by her battery mate and former travel ball teammate. Jessie Blaine playing with Josie Marin, and Josie was a huge part when Jessie went into the transfer portal out of Auburn. Josie was calling her left and right. Come to Starkville, come to Starkville, come to Starkville. And, well, here she is, a Mississippi State Bulldog. Brief bobble and sweet recovery. Barbary to Hull. Bonet is a proud partner with Mary Nutter.
Look at this release from Barbary. This one seems like a can of corn. She bobbles it, but she's able to pick it up on that hop and that release. That's what gets that just in time for Brito. Nice play over there at third by Barbary. And that's big because Oklahoma, they've been able to get that leadoff batter on quite a bit these last few innings. And that leads to the success. That leads to runners getting put on base.
Coach Gasso's got the lineup card out. A reminder that Bonet is a proud partner with us here at Mary Nutter. Check out Bonet products and design your new setup. USA Preps is the largest college camp and tournament company in the country with close to 100,000 players helped so far and counting. If you have a player interested in playing college softball, like the players you're watching now, usapreps.com and register for an event. Oklahoma will go to the bench and bring in Riley Ludlam, who has already played a lot of meaningful moments here for Oklahoma. And as we're talking about the transfer portal with Kelly Maxwell and with Jessie Blaine, here's another in Ludlam, a pair of catchers in that list. Ludlam watches ball one.
She's had some moments. We talked about it with Brownlee. She comes in as a pinch hitter, being able to be so successful. Same thing with Ludlam. She's had a lot of success in some big pivotal moments for Oklahoma. A couple of pinch hits where she's been the one to get that go ahead or even the winning run from the plate.
Coach Gasso had a lot of really good things to say about Riley Ludlam in a weekly press conference. Was super impressed with what she did against Central Arkansas and McNeese. She gets a chance right now. That's knocked down by Marin. Her effort rewarded. Pitchers fielding their position, something we've seen so much of this year, Nicole. And Josie's another great example.
Yeah, this one lower in the zone, but Ludlam does such a good job just getting through that ball. Marin, just that glove, being able to tip it out of the way. Another pinch hitter with Quincy Lilio.
And she watches ball one. Leo, another one competing for that second base spot. Right now, though, she'll focus on the efforts with the bat. Picked up 4 at-bats last weekend for Oklahoma. Gets her first here in the opening salvo for the Sooners here at Mary Nutter. Look at Josie Marin again. Had to come into this one in kind of an emergency situation after the ball hit Delaney Everett. And Josie's pretty familiar with that. She had a midseason injury herself last year, rehabbed it through the summer, and now back and firing for Mississippi State. So that's big time. Great change right there.
It's a nice pitch on that inside half. We've been seeing a lot of off speeds from both teams tonight on that inner half of the plate. Typically, you see pitchers want to go away with that off speed, but it's been pretty effective.
Chopped up by Lilio. Goal number 1 for State right now is just get to the 7th. Extend this game as much as you can. Give yourself a chance. Even if you don't wind up winning it, you can build a lot of momentum. Bulldogs have Fullerton coming up and Fresno State. A split doubleheader tomorrow. After that, They get back to Starkville, the Bulldog Invitational. Both these teams have a home series awaiting after the action here at Mary Nutter. We will talk about that home series for Oklahoma a little bit in our next game. Do a little tease ahead for the matchup with Wisconsin. It's a humongous home game for Oklahoma. Great job by Lilio. She works the wall.
Corey, you're teasing them. You're teasing them, Corey.
Hey, we got to show them a lot of love. If you know, you know. Reason to watch ahead. For now, it is Oklahoma. The possibility of ending this game. Cassidy Pickering represents the potential game-winning run.
See another pinch hitter here. Coach Gasso definitely wanting to get off the bench and give them their reps, give them their opportunities.
And Core goes after one that dives through the zone.
Nice pitch by Marin. That one on the inner half, and it's just dying down, gets under the barrel.
Coors had 3 total at-bats so far as an Oklahoma Sooner. Really limited last year due to a back injury, but well, she's back now. A chance to make a difference in this one.
See a little bit of conversation here between this staff. I think there was a bit of a mix-up on a few of the pitches. And this staff is just making sure that they're all on track. A lot of smiles.
And if you're going to have those cross-ups, you do it now, right? That's part of what the preseason is all about, working through your communication. I mentioned it is a new pitching coach in Starkville, so that does change some of the flow a bit. But you get that out of the way right now. You can laugh about it so that when the games really take on high stakes, particularly in the postseason, which is the focus for Mississippi State after getting left out last year, you are ready to go.
Marin, she's really pounding that lower inner half to Core, just going at her right there, right there, right there. The last 3 pitches in that same exact spot. It's a great setup.
Squirts away. Extra 60 feet. Right now the focus is on Core. Leo's run matters, but Core at the plate is much more significant.
This one in that same location, just a little bit farther down. You could see Marin was hoping that Core would chase after that one. Take out of the hand. It started off too low. There's that high. Marin gone to that same pitch 4 pitches in a row. Not afraid to work that spot.
No.
Core's been chasing after it.
That's the thing. If it ain't broke, right? 2-2. There it is. Little rising action. Marin earns the K and forces this thing to go the distance. Mississippi State looks to build momentum as we go to the 7th.
Look, they're even hiring freelance tax experts on Fiverr.
Man, it probably works better than how we do our taxes here.
Aren't you in charge of filing our taxes?
Yeah.
This tax season, hire a tax expert on Fiverr.
push and continue to strive. We'll see them later on in postseason, but it is a long, long season. They are looking pretty good here to start off their year.
A lot of the players have talked about it, saying you never forget the feeling of not hearing your name called. You know, we always think of the celebratory video. Everyone loses their mind when you see your school's name pop up on the screen, but the opposite is very much true as well. And so Mississippi State, I don't think they're hurting for bulletin board material. Even if they fall in this one, they are going to have that hunger all year. I have no doubt.
And then there's the obvious. Most people want Oklahoma to lose. They have won back to back to back. The amount of, can somebody else please just win already? But what they have done has been nothing short of amazing. If they pulled off, ultimately that's every team's goal, is to get to the national championship, be that last team standing. Obviously, Oklahoma very familiar with that feeling. But if they could get back to back to back to back, that'd be the first time ever.
Quality plate appearance for Barbary. She works the walk. Only UCLA in '89, and these Sooners have even put together the 3 in a row. So Oklahoma certainly trying to make history. This would be their 63rd win in a row. And of course, the other element of it is the chase for 8, Nicole. The overall championships sit at 7. I think you know a thing or two about that. Paige Cook watching 0-1.
Cook, she has been on fire tonight. A couple of hard hits, took a walk. There's been definitely an impact play for Mississippi State, not just tonight, but throughout this preseason run that they have been having. It's easy to see why. The way that the ball just flies off of her bat.
It's funny how we talk about how modern college athletics has changed so much and divisions don't mean as much as they used to. Kelly Maxwell is a great example, going from Oklahoma State to Oklahoma. Paige Cook's another great example. She grew up in Georgia. She loved UGA. She wanted to be a different type of Bulldog. But over the course of the recruiting process, found out, hey, the right home for me is in Starkville, not Athens.
To that point, I mean, as a kid growing up, you have this image in your head of, wow, this is where I want to go, but there's a program out there for everyone. I truly believe that whether it's a Power 5 school, whether it's small D1, whether it's D2, D3, JUCO, there's so many options out there for those who want to play. And then it's not just about where you go, but the right fit for you.
Yep.
And obviously, Cook, she's in a right fit. She has settled it very, very nicely.
That's why I think it was a great decision, and it impacted this sport more than any other when the NCAA said, you know, I think we've had enough of kids committing to colleges. Let's cut that one off a little bit before we start getting 5-year-olds signing letters of intent. And so we've kind of curbed what was getting a bit ridiculous with the baby commits. So you have at least a little time to try and find truly the right fit.
Backdoor getting away from Maxwell. Mississippi State runner in scoring position for the first time in a couple of innings. Really, truly feeling like there's a threat. No outs. And one of the best hitters in their lineup up at the plate. She has been battling pitch after pitch. She draws a full count.
And just survives the piece.
I mean, look at that battle. That is an excellent pitcher's pitch by Maxwell. Backdoor right on that corner. She's just barely getting that one. She is battling, waiting for that pitch to come inside so she can turn on it.
And that's a quality 8-pitch walk for Paige Cook.
And the discipline, the battle from Mississippi State has paid off. That's 2 walks in a row there for them. And that's free bases. That's free base runners. You get a hit, and all of a sudden, runners who weren't supposed to be on the base, now they're scoring. That is huge.
Brings in Jessie Blaine. All of a sudden trying to keep the good going here for Mississippi State. She goes after a riser for strike 1. At a bare minimum, Bulldogs doing the rest of this field a favor. Those 2 walks are on a combined 15 pitches from Kelly Maxwell. And so the Bulldogs driving the pitch count up. They want to score runs, but at least creating some tax on these arms.
And Blaine is eager for those pitches. She likes those. After 2 walks, so yes, you want to be attacking, but you also want to be smart and make Maxwell come to you.
Goes after one outside part. Kelly Maxwell bounces back for the first out in the 7th.
Talk about the differences in those. You said 15 pitches. This one was a 3-pitch at bat. 3 swings and misses in a row. That last one up on that outside corner. See Blaine, no legs, just kind of waving at that pitch. Great late movement by Maxwell.
Hawkins watching strike 1. Maxwell, in her entire Oklahoma career, which spanned about 10 games now, had only walked 2. So match that in just this game. Which meant you knew she'd probably come back a little angry.
I mean, that one just kisses that outside corner. We talked about back in the 3rd, a pitcher who's able to throw pitchers' pitches. It gives them the ability, early on in the count, it gives them the ability to start working that ladder, whether it's working the ladder out, working the ladder up. And that's what we've seen from Kelly Maxwell, that last pitch, just a little bit farther outside, but the hitter feeling like they need to protect. Get them going after balls that aren't even on the chalk line, or aren't even on the plate, but those are in the river, closer to the chalk line.
Hawkins battling at age of 47, down swinging. It's a great fight, but it's back-to-back Ks for Kelly Maxwell.
I love that sequence. Backdoor, backdoor, backdoor. This one up in the zone for the swing and miss. Maxwell definitely found a groove after walking the first 2 batters. She gets back-to-back Ks.
Lexi Sosa will come in. It's funny, right as I'm railing against young commits, the youngest verbal commit ever for the UCLA Bruins will come in and make her appearance in this game. She was hardly starting out middle school when she decided she wanted to take her talents to UCLA. She got over 20 offers when she was 13 years old. Took last year off to get right and now joins this Mississippi State program. Been really, really good the last couple of months in the circle. Right now, she'll grab it back.
Nice job by Hansen going after, asking if that was a check swing, gets that call for her pitcher. And I do think it's such a great thing that rule changed, because as somebody who myself, I got recruited early, a lot of people that I know got recruited early. It's the excitement. It's ooh, I want to go here. This is flashy.
Absolutely.
But whenever you're in middle school getting recruited, I mean, I thought that I was going to be a fashion designer. I never would have guessed that I'm doing what I'm doing now. And not to say that you can't change your mind once you're older.
Sure.
But you do get a better sense of things that you're interested in. You do get a better sense of things that are important to you, things that you want to see in a program, things that you want to see in a school.
Yeah. Sosa watching strike three. Maxwell does her thing, and the streak lives on for the Oklahoma Sooners. 63 wins in a row. Double figures here in 2024. And the champs roll on as they prepare for the back end of their doubleheader against Wisconsin. Oklahoma was going.
Being able to be consistent and get those runs across the board